I'm sick of the lies. The lies. The lies the mainstream sports media tells you Bron fanboys to make you believe LeBron James is the GOAT. He not the GOAT, dog. He not the GOAT. All right? I don't know how many times I got to prove it over and over and over. Yet these Bron fanboys, dog, they still don't get it. They still don't understand what a real GOAT is, dog. You see what I'm saying? See, these Bron fanboys, they got to make excuses. Excuse after excuse why their GOAT, their glorious king, is not a winner. They got to make excuses for why he has that losing finals record. 4-6. We keep bringing it up. 4-6, dog. 4-6. He has 4 wins, but he has 6 losses, dog. We keep bringing it up. Because it's one of those things, dog. It's one of those things that you just can't get past. He has a losing record at the highest level of competition, dog. That's why we bring it up. That ain't no GOAT, dog. That ain't no GOAT. But here come the Bron fanboys. Oh, yeah, they got to go, oh, wait a second. No. LeBron, my glorious king, the only reason he has a record like that, because he had to face dynasties. He had to face dynasties. He had to face the mighty Spurs. He had to face the mighty Warriors. You see? Dynasties. Dynasties is who he had to face in the finals. It's not my glorious king's fault. They were just so good. Such dominant dynasties that he defeated. At least once, he beat dynasties. He beat the dynasty Spurs. He beat the dynasty Warriors. Yes, he also lost to them, but he beat them. That shows how great, how powerful a GOAT he is. He's such a GOAT. Dog. Oh, man. Oh, man. Dynasties, dog. They want to talk about dynasties. Nah, dog. You don't want to talk about no dynasties, dog. You don't want to talk about no Spurs, and you don't want to talk about no Warriors, dog. I'm telling you. You don't want to go there. You see what I'm saying? LeBron faced dynasties. LeBron beat dynasties. How good were these dynasties, dog? How good were they, dog? How dominant were these dynasties? You see what I'm saying? That's what I want to know. Who did they beat? You see what I'm saying? Who did they beat to get their championships, dog? That's what I want to know. If they're such great dynasties, like you try to paint it out. You see what I'm saying? All these Bron fanboys want to make it seem like the Spurs were such a great dynasty, and the Warriors was such a great dynasty, dog. Dog. They are 2 of the weakest dynasties in NBA history, dog. Like, if we're being real, dog, they are 2 of the weakest dynasties in terms of how they won their championships, dog. If we're talking about finals competition, who they beat to get their championships, dog, they're weak. They're weak sauce. You see what I'm saying? I'm just being real. I'll prove it. I'll prove it. Dog. Spurs. First of all, let me. This is so strange. So strange, but so eerily similar. The Spurs and the Warriors, dog. You know? light-skinned, back-to-back MVPs, good coach, 6 finals appearances, a dark-skinned one-time MVP that helped win 2 of the championships. Yeah, David Robinson for one, Kevin Durant for the other. I'm telling you, man, you can't make this stuff up, dog. You can't make it up. This is like for real. Like, I'm just telling you how it is. Light-skinned, back-to-back MVPs, dog. And one of the MVPs, they won a championship with being an MVP. The other MVP, they didn't win a championship. Yep. Tim Duncan, Steph Curry. It's so similar. I'm telling you, you can't make this stuff up, dog. You can't make it up. I'm being for real, dog. This is real. This isn't cap. This is facts. You see what I'm saying? Good coach. I already said that, but look, Greg Popovich, right? Steve Kerr. Both of those guys, they speak highly of in the media. They speak so highly of these coaches. They say, oh, such great coaches. Oh, Greg Popovich, such a great coach. Oh, Steve Kerr, such a great coach. You see what I'm saying? Media keeps talking about him, bringing him up. Dog. When the Spurs started winning, dog. When the Spurs started winning. During the Greg Popovich era, dog. When they became this dynasty, dog. When they started beating these teams. For the first championship they won, it was during a lockout season, a strike season, a shortened season, dog. It was only a 50-game season when they won their first championship, dog. Yep. They were a 37-13 team. Facing, in the finals, a 27-23 Knicks. That's a team that won 54% of its games. The Knicks. They beat those Knicks, dog. They beat the Knicks. Yep. Beat the Knicks for the first championship. That was in the 98-99 season. The next championship they would win, because there would be a three-peat by the Lakers. So the next championship, because the Lakers kept tapping them. Kept whooping on them, dog. Lakers kept whooping on them. Spurs couldn't get nothing when those Lakers went on that three-peat, dog. So now we got to look at 2003. The window opened up for them to win a championship, dog. Yep. They make it to the finals. And who do they face in the finals but the New Jersey Nets? Yeah. And the New Jersey Nets, they have won 49 games. 49 games. They had a record of 49-33. That's who they beat for their second championship, dog. Yeah. Weak. We skipped 2004. Pistons won that. 2005. And the Spurs, who do they face in the finals, dog? Who do they face in the finals, dog? The Pistons. And the Pistons had a record of 54-28. Just like the season before. Yep. 54-28. Dog. 54-28, that's like a 65% regular season win percentage, dog. 54-28, 65%. Weak, dog. Then we go to 2007, and the Spurs, who do they face in the finals? Oh, yeah, LeBron. You see what I'm saying? By this time, they are 3-time champions. The Spurs have won 3 championships, all by beating teams with 54 wins or less in the finals. That's how they got all their 3 championships up to that point, dog. Beating teams that had 54 wins or less. They face, another team that has 54 wins or less in the Cleveland Cavaliers, who have 50 wins. Beat them. Swept them. You see what I'm saying? They haven't swept anyone in the finals, but they swept LeBron. They swept him. You see what I'm saying? All the other teams with 54 wins or less, they beat them, but they didn't sweep them. Oh, but they swept LeBron. Now there's a 7-year gap, dog. 7 years before the Spurs. Well, yeah, 7 years. 7 years. Look, 2008, 2009, 2010, 2011, 2012, 2013. Okay, 6 years. A 6-year gap, dog, before they even see another final. You see what I'm saying? That's your dominant dynasty. A 6-year gap before they even see another final. All the finals they ever went to, everyone they beat was a team with 54 wins or less. They get to 2013. Oh, they faced the Miami Heat. The Miami Heat, who got 66 wins, a 66-16 team. This is the first time they have ever faced a team in the finals that had more than 54 wins, dog. And they pushed LeBron to 7 games. 7. But they lose. But the very next season, the Spurs come back and they win 62 games and get to the finals again, dog. And when they get to the finals, lo and behold, there is LeBron and his Heat again. But now their record is 54-28. Yet again, a team that has 54 wins or less. And they beat that team. Gentlemen swept them. You see what I'm saying? So all 5 of the rings of this Spurs dynasty, this powerful Spurs dynasty in this Greg Popovich era, such a great coach, all 5 of those rings they won were by beating teams in the finals with 54 wins or less. And the only team they lost to in the finals was a team that had more than 54 wins. That's weak. Never beat a team with more than 54 wins for any of their championships, for all 5 of those rings, dog. Weak. Now, let's look at the Warriors, dog. Let's look at the Warriors. Let's look at our other light-skinned back-to-back MVP. You can't make this up, dog. I'm telling you, you can't make this stuff up. The Warriors. In 2015, dog, they win their first championship. During the Steve Kerr era. Such a great coach. Their first championship, who do they face? Oh, yeah. It's those Cavaliers, dog. Those Cavaliers, you mean the ones that had a record of 53-29? The ones with 54 wins or less? Those Cavaliers? Oh, yeah. They beat them. They beat them for the first championship. Then in 2016, they're 73-9, but oh no, they're facing a team that has more than 54 wins. The Cavaliers this time, they have 57 wins. Oh no, that's more than 54 wins. And they lose in 7 games. Just like the Spurs. Didn't the Spurs lose in 7 games to a team that had more than 54 wins? Huh. Weird. Then we go to 2017. The Warriors, they get to the finals. And they face the Cavaliers again. Oh, there's LeBron. Hey, buddy. Oh, what's your record? 51 and 31. You mean you're a team with 54 wins or less? And you lose. Gentlemen swept. Gentlemen swept. Weren't you gentlemen swept by the Spurs? When you have 54 wins or less? Huh. Weird. Then we go to 2018. The Warriors face it's the Cavaliers again. LeBron. Hey, welcome back to the finals. What's your record? 50 and 32. Oh, you mean you're a team with 54 wins or less? Oh, yeah, you got beat. You got swept, as a matter of fact. Huh, wait a second. Weren't you swept on the Cavaliers before when you faced the Spurs? And wasn't your record 50 and 32 back then, too? Huh, strange. Strange. Then the Warriors, they go to the finals again. They go to the finals again. 2019, they face the Raptors. Yeah, they face the Raptors. Oh, but they lose that series. What was the Raptors' record? 58 and 24. Oh, you mean they had more than 54 wins? And then you lost to them? Just like you lost to the Cavs when they had more than 54 wins? Huh. So every time you face a team that got more than 54 wins, you lose. But every time you face a team that got 54 wins or less, you win. But you're facing way more teams that got 54 wins or less, aren't you? Only faced two. You only faced two teams that had 54 wins or more. And the Spurs, they only faced one team that had 54 wins or that had more than 54 wins. So the times you face teams that have more than 54 wins, you lose. And the times that you face teams that have 54 wins or less, you win. Oh, okay. I see the pattern. Then we get to 2022. Oh, it's the Warriors back in the finals again. Huh. Who are they facing? The Boston Celtics. What's their record? 51 and 31. Oh, yeah. You mean they got 54 wins or less? And that's the team they beat. Okay. Yeah, because they got 54 wins or less. So the Warriors can beat them. You see what I'm saying? Every team that the Warriors Dynasty and the Spurs Dynasty in their equal amount of 6 finals appearances. You see what I'm saying? Every team they beat for a championship had 54 wins or less. You see what I'm saying? That's weak. And every team that they lost to was a team that had more than 54 wins. Anytime they faced a team that had more than 54 wins, they lost. That's weak. You see what I'm saying? These are two of the weakest dynasties in NBA history when it comes to finals competition. You see what I'm saying? And they lose to every single team that has more than 54 wins, dog. Yep. But the Spurs, they were so mighty. No, they weren't, dog. But the Warriors, they were so mighty. No, they weren't, dog. You see what I'm saying? Spurs got a championship off of LeBron. Is it the Spurs' fault that they swept LeBron when he had a 50 and 32 team in the finals? Is that the problem with the Spurs being too good? Or is that a problem with LeBron's Cavs not being good enough? You see what I'm saying? Because the Spurs have a habit of beating teams that got 54 wins or less. They made a habit of that. And then what do? They had just won 3 championships beating teams with 54 wins or less. And what do? You face them in the finals with 54 wins or less. Is that the Spurs being too good, or is that LeBron not being good enough? You see what I'm saying? The one time he beats the Spurs, oh, he's got a 66-win team. Okay, that's the only team that ever beat the Spurs. You see what I'm saying? But the next year, he's a team with 54 wins or less. And we know what the Spurs does to teams with 54 wins or less in the finals. Beats them and gets their chip. Same with the Warriors. You're a 53-29 team facing the Warriors in the finals. The Warriors got 67 wins. And you got 54 wins or less. And they beat you. Is that the Warriors' fault? That you had 54 wins or less? And that you were a weak team? You see what I'm saying? Was the problem the Warriors were too good? Or was the problem that LeBron wasn't good enough? You see what I'm saying? The next year, oh, LeBron, you got 57 wins. That's more than 54 wins. And you managed to come back from 3-1. Yay! Great! You know, you're a team that had won 69% of your games, which is typically a team that is capable of winning a championship. Okay. Upset of the year. Upset of NBA history. The biggest upset. You know, Warriors choked. But what else were they supposed to do? They're facing a team that had more than 54 wins. You see what I'm saying? But then the very next year, LeBron, your team has 51 wins. And you're in the finals against these Warriors, dog. You're a team with 54 wins or less. And what are the Warriors supposed to do but beat you? Was that the Warriors being too good? Or was that LeBron not being good enough? You got gentlemen swept, dog. And then the very next year, 50-32, that ain't going to cut it, dog. That ain't no finals team. You made it to the finals with 50-32, but you supposed to win that? You think you're going to win with a weak team like that against these Warriors when all they do is beat teams that got 54 wins or less in the finals? You see what I'm saying? Dog, they beat you. They swept you. You see what I'm saying? Was that the Warriors being too good? Or was that LeBron not being good enough? You see what I'm saying? I don't want to hear about he faced dynasties. When these dynasties weren't even that great, dog. They weren't even that great. With the competition they had to face in the finals. Every time they faced a team that had more than 54 wins, they lost. Warriors did it against the Raptors, too. Raptors had more than 54 wins. They have 58 wins. Oh, and it's a loss for the Warriors. You see what I'm saying? They beat the Celtics, though. Celtics, what was their record? 51-31. You see what I'm saying? Their dynasties were built off of beating weak teams in the finals, dog. That's how their dynasties were built. So you can talk about your back-to-back MVP. You can talk about your other one-time MVP, former MVP who was on the team. You can talk about the coach. You can talk about the franchise. You can talk about how dedicated they are and how they take care of their players and how they all do their team play and the ball movement. You can talk about all that. But when it comes to the finals, their dynasties were built off of beating weak teams. And that's facts. I'm just being real, dog. You see what I'm saying? And I'm not even trying to discredit these dynasties. You know, they did what they had to do. They won. They held up their end of the bargain when it came to these weak teams they had to face, dog. They did what they were supposed to do. Beat them. You see what I'm saying? But don't be trying to say, oh, they were such a great dynasty. Oh, they were so powerful. Oh, the Spurs, they were just so good. Oh, the Warriors, they were just... Dog, all their championships, their whole dynasty was built off of beating weak teams for both of those franchises, dog. Both of them. Winning in the exact same way. Losing in the exact same way. You see what I'm saying? Two of the weakest dynasties in NBA history. We can look at all the different dynasties, dog. The Boston Celtics, dog. I've been doing some research, dog. Those Celtics with Larry Bird, dog. Dog. They ain't never beat no team in the finals that had more than 54 wins. The first finals, Larry Bird beat a team with a losing record, 40-42 in the finals. The second one, he beat the Lakers, but they were 54-28. And the third one, he beat the Rockets again. They were 51-31. The only championships Larry Bird ever got, dog, was by beating teams with 54 wins or less. Now the Lakers dynasty, on the other hand, with Magic and Kareem together on the same team went to 8 finals, dog. They went to 8. And they faced a team that had more than 54 wins in the finals 7 times out of those 8. 7 times out of the 8, they faced teams that had 54 wins or more. You see what I'm saying? But, and everyone they beat for the 5 championships, besides one team, is the Detroit Pistons, who had 54-28 record. Other than that, everyone they beat for their championships had more than 54 wins. You see what I'm saying? That's looking more like a dominant dynasty, dog. Every team they beat had more than 54 wins. You see what I'm saying? Except for the Detroit Pistons. In the 87-88 season. You see what I'm saying? But the ones they lost, you see what I'm saying? The ones they lost, they faced teams that had 60 wins or more. You see what I'm saying? They beat one team that was a 60-win team, dog. One. But the other 3, they faced 4. The other 3, they lost to all of them, dog. You see what I'm saying? They only beat one 60-win team, that dynasty, dog. In a final, in an NBA final. We're just talking about finals here. All right? We're not talking about paths to the finals. We're just talking about finals competition. All right? The Dynasty Celtics? Nah, dog. Bill Russell? He ain't never faced no team with more than 54 wins except once. That was his last ever final, dog. Now, I know it wasn't 82 games all the way. So 54-28 record, that's a 67% win percentage, dog. If you got a 67% win percentage, that's what a 54-28, that's what translates to 54-28 in an 82 game season. So he did face 2 teams that had a 67 win percentage or more. But it's only 2 out of 12 finals, dog. You see what I'm saying? And people want to talk about Bill Russell and his 11 rings. You see, if you really do some research and look into that, he wasn't really beating nobody, dog. It was a dominant dynasty. They beat who was there. But the real ones, we know they didn't really have any competition for those rings, dog. Secondly, Bill Russell never beat no 60-win team for a championship. You see what I'm saying? Never. He only faced one 60-win team, I believe, his entire career. Or no. I think it was two. But the one time he faced, the first time he ever faced a 60-win team, he lost. You see what I'm saying? So we look at the Celtics dynasty back in Bill Russell's era. We look at Larry Bird's dynasty. We look at the Lakers dynasty. We can look at the Kobe Lakers dynasty, dog. Kobe. Let's just look at Kobe, because he was on all. He went to 7 finals all with the Lakers, right? So for that Lakers dynasty, you know, he faced 4 teams. 4 teams that had 54 wins or more. You see what I'm saying? 4. 2 were with Shaq. 2 were without Shaq. You see what I'm saying? The 2 he faced with Shaq, he beat him. The 2 he faced without Shaq, he was 1-1. You see what I'm saying? He lost to the 66-16 Boston Celtics, more than 54 wins. But he beat the 59-23 Orlando Magic, more than 54 wins. You see what I'm saying? And the teams with Shaq, he faced 2 56-26 teams, dog. The 56-26 Pacers and the 56-26 Sixers with Allen Iverson. You see what I'm saying? Other than that, every other team he faced, dog, had 54 wins or less. And he lost to one of them with Shaq. You see what I'm saying? We're going to get into that in a whole nother video. But for the 7 finals appearances that Kobe was in, 4 of them were against teams with 54 wins, or 4 of them were against teams with more than 54 wins, dog. Yeah, 4 of them. And 3 of them were against teams that had 54 wins or less. You see what I'm saying? So we look at the Lakers dynasty, dog. We look at all these dynasties besides the 2 Boston Celtics dynasties, Larry Bird, Bill Russell, and the 2 the Spurs dynasty and the Warriors dynasty. You see what I'm saying? Those are the only dynasties. You see what I'm saying? That well, the Spurs and the Warriors, they're the only dynasties, dog. Spurs and Warriors are the only dynasties that never beat a team that had more than 54 wins. They're the only 2 dynasties that have ever done that. Every other dynasty, dog. Every other dynasty in NBA history, dog, has beaten teams, at least one team. That was Bill Russell's Celtics. You see what I'm saying? Well, if we're bringing it to win percentage, he beat 2 teams that had 67% or more. So, but if we're looking at these dynasties, dog, no dynasty besides the Spurs and the Warriors. No dynasties besides the Spurs and the Warriors. Basically, well, all the dynasties except the Spurs and the Warriors, dog, have beaten teams in the finals that had more than 54 wins. Only the Spurs and the Warriors, they're the only dynasties that have not beaten teams with more than 54 wins in the finals, dog. They're the two weakest dynasties in NBA history, dog, in terms of finals competition. You see what I'm saying? That's what they built their dynasties off of, beating weak teams in the finals. You see what I'm saying? And because LeBron was four of the weak teams, now we got to try to raise these guys up and try to make these dynasties seem like they're bigger than what they were, dog. Dog. LeBron's just a loser, dog. He just ain't got it. That's the problem. And I've proven it time and time again. He just not like that, dog. He's just not the dude. You see what I'm saying? Spurs and Warriors, two weakest dynasties in NBA history, dog. Now, before I go, I'm going to give you one little fun fact for you Bron fanboys, dog. I'm going to name some names, dog. Willis Reed, Rick Barry, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Michael Jordan, Dwayne Wade, LeBron James. What do those 6 players have in common, dog? Willis Reed, Rick Barry, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Michael Jordan, Dwayne Wade, LeBron James. All 6 of those players have finals MVPs. Yep. All of them received their finals MVPs from beating teams that had 60 wins or more in the finals. Yep. All 6 of those guys, they all got their finals MVPs from beating teams that had 60 wins or more in the finals. You see what I'm saying? And the Bron fanboys, they're going to go, oh, well, LeBron, he's on the list. And it was a 73-9 team. Yeah, but we already just cleared that up. You see what I'm saying? That this Warriors dynasty could not beat a team that had more than 54 wins. Never have. Same with the Spurs. So I don't know what to tell you on that, dog. You want to celebrate it as much as you can, but they're the 2 weakest dynasties in NBA history, dog. That's just facts. I didn't even know that, but I did my research, dog. And I just saw that. I'm like, whoa. Now, here's the difference between these 6 players. Willis Reed, Rick Barry, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Michael Jordan, Dwayne Wade, LeBron James. Here's the difference between all of them. Willis Reed, he got 1 finals MVP. He beat 1 60-win team in the finals. Rick Barry beat 1 60-win team in the finals. You see what I'm saying? Kareem beat 1 60-win team in the finals. Dwayne Wade beat 1 60-win team in the finals. LeBron James beat 1 60-win, 60-plus win team in the finals, dog. Only 9 teams in NBA history, dog. 9 60-win teams have ever been beaten in the finals, dog. Just 9. And I just named you 5 players who did it once. You see what I'm saying? Michael Jordan did it 4 times, dog. Out of the 9 60-win teams that have ever been eliminated in the finals, Michael beat 4 of them. And he's the only player in NBA history who has ever beat more than 1 team that has 60 wins or more in the finals, dog. He's the only one. You see what I'm saying? Only one who beat more than 1, and he beat 4. You see what I'm saying? Now, I was talking about all these dynasties, dog, that faced opponents that had 54 wins or more than 54 wins, dog. Spurs and Warriors, the only dynasties that lost to opponents that never beat an opponent in the finals, never beat for a championship an opponent that had more than 54 wins. Well, Michael Jordan and his Bulls, dog, the one true dynasty, the coldest dynasty of them all, dog, 2 3-peats. Guess what? Every single opponent Michael faced in the finals, dog, had more than 54 wins. Every single one of them. His team is the only dynasty team, dog, that has ever faced. Every opponent that they faced had more than 54 wins, dog. He's the only one. You see what I'm saying? Only dynasty, only team. Chicago Bulls that faced in the finals. Every single opponent they ever faced had more than 54 wins, dog. 90-91 Lakers, 58 wins. 91-92 Blazers, 57 wins. 92-93 Suns, 62 wins. 95-96 Sonics, 64 wins. 96-97 Jazz, 64 wins. And 97-98 Jazz, 62 wins, dog. The Bulls dynasty is the only dynasty that every finals they went to, they faced an opponent that had more than 54 wins. You see what I'm saying? Beat them all. And out of all 6 of those opponents, 4 of them were 60-win teams. You see what I'm saying? The Bulls dynasty beat 4 teams that had 60 wins or more, dog. No other team, no other dynasty has ever beaten more than one team that had 60 wins or more in the finals, dog. The only dynasty that has ever beaten a 60-win team is the Lakers dynasty with Magic and Kareem. That's the only one. And they did it one time. That's it. Don't tell me about no dynasties. I don't want to hear about no dynasties. I don't want to hear about Michael didn't face nobody in the finals, dog. Everyone like, oh, what dynasty did Michael beat? Michael didn't need to beat no dynasty. He was the dynasty. You see what I'm saying? And he beat the toughest competition of any dynasty ever in NBA history all time, dog. He beat them all. No team, not one, dog, has faced a team with more than 54 wins in every single final they've ever been to as a dynasty, dog. Completely undefeated. 2 3-peats. 4 60-win teams beaten. You see what I'm saying? And that's just in the finals, dog. Don't just get me started on the 60-win teams total. Because the Bulls dynasty has beaten the most 60-win teams total in NBA history, dog. But you want to talk about some dynasty, you want to talk about some Spurs and some Warriors, who are anywhere near close, no dynasty that the Bulls were. And face nowhere near the same competition that the Bulls did. And if they did face somewhat of the same competition as the Bulls, they never beat them. You see what I'm saying? Never beat them. But y'all want to talk about some dynasties. LeBron beat dynasties. LeBron beat the 2 weakest dynasties in NBA history in terms of finals competition, dog. Are we gonna clap for that? Cause he beat them one time? One time he beat the Spurs? Lost to them twice. He lost to them twice. But the one time he beat them? One time he beat the Warriors. He lost to them 3 times. He lost to them 3 times. But the one time he beat them, so now we got to go, oh, he beat Dynasties. Oh, he had to face Dynasties. That's weak. I don't want to hear about this ever again, dog. Don't talk about no Dynasties and no competition. All the competition LeBron had to face and all the mighty Spurs, all the mighty Warriors. I don't want to hear that crap. Dog, it ain't anywhere near the level of what Michael had to go through. Ain't anywhere near it, dog. Michael faced the toughest competition in NBA history in the finals, dog. No dynasty has ever faced more, all for 54 teams that had more than 54 wins. No dynasty has ever faced in every single final a team with more than 54 wins. Michael is the Bulls' only dynasty that did that and beat them all. Come on, dog. I want to hear this crap. How many 60-win teams has LeBron faced in the finals, dog? Oh, he's faced 4, hasn't he? Yeah, well, Michael beat all his. Michael beat all his. LeBron only won 1 because he's a scrub. And he only grabbed 1 off of one of the weakest dynasties in NBA history, dog. Scrub. Boom. And he's definitely not the GOAT. He not the GOAT, dog. He not the GOAT.